Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with a couple of nerds.
Nathan Nerdarch.
Nerdarchy Ted.
And today we're going to go over the 5 best beast companions for a ranger. I'm going to start this video by thanking Jim Hammer and Sons Gaming and their current Kickstarter, the Compendium of Wild Beasts, which is now going on and you can check out for sponsoring this video.
Stay tuned to the end to find out how you can win these decks of cards,
where we're going to talk about our favorite must-have top 5 beast companions if you're the ranger.
So this is for 5th edition. So we poured through the monster manual and the Compendium of Wild Beasts that Jim Hammer sent us to take a look at, and we pulled out what we feel are the 5 best in your monster manual companions for your ranger.
Right. We didn't go with any of the other ones that are actually in these decks that you could possibly use because they're not official for Adventure League, but we went with our favorites.
So, top of my list, flying snakes. Flying snakes are awesome. Normally they have junk for hit points, but when you have a Ranger Beastmaster, they like more than double their hit points to start. And they only do a point of damage, but they do 3d4 extra poison damage.
No save.
Yep, no save.
Yeah, it is literally probably one of the hardest hitting beast companions. But in addition to that, wait, there's more.
Oh, that's right. It also has a flyby attack in which it can fly to the thing that's going to attack it, and then fly away and not get any opportunity attacks.
Because it's got a flight of 60.
Yeah, so it is like, whoosh, you could be firing a bow or some other rangery thing, and it can fly off your shoulder, bite, and fly back.
No way, dude. Totally False of Doom style and shoot the flying snake.
I give them a slight perilous poisoning, so they're like...
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect for pairing up with the rogue in the party, or if your ranger has rogue levels, he's going to be able to get his sneak attack in. There's a lot of good uses for it. Also, beast companions can be a little squishy, so he can get in, he can get out, or maybe he gets in, does the help action, gets out. You know, however you want to run it, it's going to be super effective.
Absolutely. So what do you have on the top of your charts there, Dave?
The giant crab. The giant crab is a total badass. It is the tank of beast companions. On land or sea, this is the one for you. I totally want to play a small ranger now that totally land surfs and water surfs this thing everywhere. Yeah, first of all, it has got the highest armor class, and it ties for the most hit points. Granted, past 3rd level, it's not going to matter unless you go with the revised ranger. Then it gets better. But you know, it has a 15 armor class. It's going to get better because of your proficiency bonus. Before long, your beast companion is literally like a knight in a suit of full plate walking around
with a shield.
With a shield. It gets blind sight at a distance, unlike the flying snake or some of the other ones. I believe it's like 30 feet. It gets a claw attack that it can grapple with. It can totally grab your ass and drown you if it needs to.
And this is a crab the size of a person, so I mean this is pretty big.
It is pretty big, you know, and completely amphibious, can breathe in air, can breathe in water, has a swim speed. These guys are really cool.
They are cool, but you don't want to discount the giant wolf spider, and we've actually seen this one in use in your game that the goblins occasionally ride. And this is a mount that's
by occasionally, you mean all the time?
Most of the time. But this one, it's got everything that a spider can do. It can walk up walls. It can sling webs. And it does poison damage when it bites. So this is quite a good one as well.
Yeah, I can actually say that the strength of that animal companion in my game isn't actually like it being able to attack and stuff like that. It's the mobility. Because they're small characters and they use it as a mount, it having a climb speed and them being able to hop on it early, in the early levels, that was huge. They could zip all over the battlefield. They could literally move in 3 dimensions when need be. It was super useful. As a matter of fact, like the ranger would hardly ever really use it in combat for fear of it getting harmed, but they would always use it as their rapid transport.
So when you've got a speed of 25 and the wolf spider's got a speed of 40, that definitely does change the mobility on the battlefield.
You're like, see you later, Wood Elf.
Yeah. Well, and so that brings us to our next choice, right? And that is, if you want to supersize your flying snake, and clip his wings, you're gonna go with the a giant poisonous snake. Not bad. It's basically the size of a person in length, gets decent poison damage.
Small people can ride it, so
I think it'd be difficult to ride a snake, but
it could be kind of disorienting, but
I'm with Ted. I'm not so sure. I think we might be stretching the riding the snake part.
if you've got motion sickness problems,
avoid
you're
it.
gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, maybe it can double as a amusement ride for a small character.
Yeah, it does have a swim speed, so that's nice, and it also does poison damage.
Oh, so you know what? I totally disagree. Now it can be ridden in the water. It is the ultimate pool noodle. I mean, it's not as cool as surfing on a giant crab, but it's not bad.
But I have to say that I don't think the crab is literally swimming. Crabs walk along the bottom.
Oh no, they swim.
No, they've got some of them have little flipper.
Yeah, they actually have
as their
flippers to
legs,
swim.
yeah.
All right.
See, not only are we entertaining, we're educational too,
The things you learn.
in our own minds.
So the last one on our list is probably one that a lot of people, are already well aware of because, a very famous drow has one as well, and that's the Panther. They have a decent armor class, decent mobility, decent amount of hit points, and with a pounce attack, they have the ability to attack, and if they knock the thing prone, they get a bite.
And with your ranger only getting their beast companion only getting an attack, that's really helpful. That they have a special ability.
Unless you're using the revised ranger, then it goes into another territory where it's a lot better. But that being said, we're just going to use one right out of the PHB until the revised ranger gets the official treatment in a future book, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So now you know what Nerdarchy's top 5 Beast Companion picks are. Let's talk a little bit about how we came to our decisions and what we're looking at when we choose a Beast Companion for our Ranger. Because there's several different things, and there's also some honorable mentions that didn't make the cut for various reasons. But thematically, we feel like there's a lot of people that would go that route.
Absolutely.
Like a dwarven ranger with a boar. That's just it's a perfect match right there.
I think so. I mean, it's basically been in some of the lore. It's out there, especially riding giant boars and things like that.
They're both tough and stubborn, so
It seems like obviously the wolf makes a great beast companion thematically. There's so many tropes with it. Or I could definitely see like a halfling or a gnome riding a wolf.
Now the badger has actually kind of gotten less powerful throughout the editions. Before it actually had like a rage ability, so we kind of lost that one. But the badger is a pretty decent pick as well. But then the giant toad was another one that I actually really liked with its jumping ability. And again, all of these things, because you're stuck with the medium size or smaller. If you go with a medium sized animal companion and you play a halfling or a gnome, you got something that can be your mount. And I just think it'd be quite amusing to be a gnome ranger, with this giant toad that you're jumping on.
Yeah, if you're a small character and you feel a little froggy, you can go with the giant toad or the giant frog. So what are some of the considerations you guys look at other than so we discussed the thematically, but what are you looking at for when you pick a beast companion? For me, I know when I looked at the giant crab, the thing that stood out to me the most was how versatile it is.
Well, if you're going to look into the mechanics of it, you want to look at the armor class. You can avoid the hit points because unless you're going with the giant crab who starts off with a 13, that's 1 point better than what it would be if you were just a normal animal, because they get 4 times the ranger's level in hit points or its own, whichever is better. So once you get 4th level, almost every single animal that I've seen is already surpassed by what the ranger gives them.
Right. Now, that being said, if you're using a revised ranger, we know that it's different because they get bonus hit dice and stuff, and it's just way better.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so for me, if it's got multiple attacks for the regular ranger, I would say the beast companion, companion, the ranger needs to have a decent attack. So does something not 1d6 minus 2 or something crappy like that, but something akin to being more respectable, like the flying snake.
So having access to being able to deal out more damage. So the giant wolf spider, the poisonous snake, and the flying snake, they all deliver a poison attack along with it. The giant crab does a grapple attack that's useful. The panther has the ability to pounce and, if successful, winds up getting a second attack. All of these things wind up stacking on extra damage, and a lot of the other ones didn't really have that. But, you know, as we talked about the armor class on some of them, armor class is incredibly important because we have such a lower degree of armor class in this edition as comparison to some earlier editions. Once you stack the Ranger's proficiency bonus to their natural AC, you can wind up getting some pretty powerful combinations like that giant crab.
And sometimes the best hit point bonus is a good AC than just not getting hit.
And best defense, no be there. Absolutely. Well, and the other thing too, like one of the things that kind of like pushed the snakes and like the spiders out of my top choices is the fact that a good portion of their damage comes from poison, and poison is possibly the most heavily resisted type of damage in the game. It's really close between poison and fire.
Fire, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that being said, if you're doing enough, it's not so bad. It's when you get into immunities, that's when it's going to be really a problem with your flying snake. But the flying snake is versatile enough where you can be like, all right, well, you're not actually going to be hurting anything with your 1 point of damage, but you do have the potential to harass and harry and do the help action.
Right.
So this way it can give, you know, your ranger and other people advantage on their attacks. Maybe it creates that flanking situation or that adjacent enemy so that your rogue can get a sneak attack in. So that there's other useful things too.
And bringing up the flying snake as well as the crab, an additional way to move. So the wolf spider's got the spider climb and the web walking. The flying snake the flying snake has the flight. The snake and the crab both have the swim. So all of them have additional ways of moving. So sometimes you need to solve a puzzle or a situation, or you just need to get something from the other side or the bottom of the lake or whatever. You can be like, hey, animal companion, you can do this thing that I can't do. Go check it out.
Go fetch that statue for me.
Yeah, go fetch that thing.
So that I can have a panther.
Yeah, so I like some of them move faster, so that's also good, especially if you're a smaller character and it's a medium creature.
Yeah, essentially when you're picking, you're gonna be looking at the mobility. Does this animal companion, this beast companion, give you different options in the game? Sometimes senses is another thing that can be very helpful. Like some of them have blind scent, or some have keen senses, so they get advantage when they're making those perception checks. So these are all things that I think are gonna be helpful. And I feel like too, like when you're outside of combat. Hopefully if you have an agreeable DM, he will take that stuff into account and let you use that stuff, when you're doing things like tracking and things of that nature. So if your maybe the beast companion can give you advantage to your tracking checks because of it has keen senses.
And the other thing is, if they actually have skills, like the giant poisonous snake is actually proficient in perception. Therefore, as a ranger, as a ranger companion, it actually gets your proficiency bonus to its skill check. So
it's going to be pretty good at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the crab has stealth. So when you need to go into stealth mode with your tank, you can absolutely do that.
Dun, dun.
And then when you put the barding on it, it'll be amazing.
All right, mount up on the stealth crab.
Yeah.
Where are our blue cloaks for the water? Yeah. Hold your breath.
Engage stealth mode, crab. As we mentioned before, we're giving away these cards you see right before you, the Compendium of Wild Beasts and the Compendium of Wild Beasts 2, both decks from Gemhammer and Sons Gaming. Down below in the description, as well as in the pin post, you can find a link to the contest with all the different ways for you guys to get entries to win this very set of cards, these two decks you see right before you now. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over at nerdarchy.com.
And don't forget to check out the link to their ongoing Kickstarter.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.
Damage.
No save.
Yep, no save.
Yeah, it is literally probably one of the hardest hitting beast companions. But in addition to that, wait, there's more.
Oh, that's right. It also has a flyby attack in which it can fly to the thing that's going to attack it, and then fly away and not get any opportunity attacks.
Because it's got a flight of 60.
Yeah. So it is like whoosh, you could.
That you could possibly use because they're not official for Adventure League, but we went with our favorites.
So top of my list, flying snakes. Flying snakes are awesome. Normally they have junk for hit points, but when you have a Ranger Beastmaster, they like more than double their hit points to start. And they only do a point of damage, but they do 3d4 extra poison damage.
The monster manual and the Compendium of Wild Beasts that Jim Hammer sent us to take a look at. We pulled out what we feel are the 5 best in your monster manual companions for your Ranger.
Right, we didn't go with any of the other ones that are actually in these decks. Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with a couple nerds.
Nate the Nerdarch.
Nerdarchy Ted.
And today we're going to go over the 5 best beast companions for a Ranger. I want to start this video by thanking Jim Hammer and Sons Gaming and their current Kickstarter, the Compendium of Wild Beasts, which is now going on and you can check out for sponsoring this video.
Stay tuned to the end to find out how you can win these decks of cards,
where we're going to talk about our favorite must-have top 5 beast companions if you're the Ranger.
So this is for 5th edition. So we poured through